Are small businesses in America currently being pushed toward an extinction event by the very people elected to represent them? While Washington loves to talk about the power of the American dream, the reality on the ground is that the backbone of our economy is currently facing its toughest test in a generation. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures we can keep bringing you the unfiltered truth about what's really going on in the halls of Congress. Right now, there is a massive push from small business owners across the country demanding immediate action from Congress. They are calling for a three-pronged approach: tax relief, regulatory reform, and systemic changes to the way healthcare is handled. The core issue here is simple but devastating. Small businesses are increasingly unable to compete with massive, multinational corporations that have the resources to navigate complicated tax codes and regulatory hurdles that would bankrupt your local hardware store or independent restaurant. When you look at the tax landscape, the playing field isn't just tilted, it's practically vertical. Large corporations have armies of lawyers and lobbyists to exploit loopholes, while the local business owner is buried in paperwork just to stay compliant with basic federal requirements. They are asking for a tax structure that rewards job creation at the local level rather than penalizing growth. Then there is the regulatory nightmare. Every time a new regulation is passed, it's intended to solve a problem, but in practice, it acts as a barrier to entry. Large companies can absorb the cost of compliance, but for a business with 10 employees, that cost is often the difference between hiring a new worker and closing their doors for good. The push for reform isn't about being anti-regulation in a vacuum, it's about demanding that Congress recognizes that a one-size-fits-all approach is actually a death sentence for Main Street. Perhaps the most critical factor, however, is the healthcare crisis. Small businesses are struggling to offer competitive benefits that attract top-tier talent. Because they lack the bargaining power of a Fortune 500 company, their premiums are skyrocketing, forcing them into a corner: either offer inferior benefits and lose the best employees to big business, or absorb the massive costs and run their margins into the ground. So, what does this actually mean for the average American? If these businesses fail, it isn't just about the storefronts that close, it's about the loss of community identity and, more importantly, the loss of jobs. Small businesses are historically the greatest engine of job creation in this country. If we continue to favor the giants at the expense of the entrepreneurs, we are fundamentally altering the American labor market and giving even more control to a handful of massive conglomerates. The outcome of this legislative battle will determine whether the next decade is defined by local economic vitality or by the continued consolidation of wealth and power. Some argue that Congress is finally listening, while others contend that the influence of big money lobbying is far too entrenched to allow for any meaningful change. The stakes couldn't be higher. We are looking at the potential collapse of the local economy as we know it, or a legislative pivot that could ignite the greatest surge in small business growth we've seen since the 90s. The question is, will the politicians actually deliver, or is this just more empty rhetoric designed to win votes without actually solving the structural problems? So what do you think about this? Do you believe Congress has the political will to stand up to big corporate interests and finally give Main Street a fighting chance, or is the game already rigged against the little guy? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to hear your perspective on whether you're seeing these struggles in your own local community. The situation is fluid, the pressure is mounting, and the decisions made in the next few months will have lasting repercussions for years to come. We're going to keep watching this story closely, because when the economy of the common man is threatened, we all need to be paying attention. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned as we track every move Congress makes on this critical issue.